There are voices whom I've come to either trust or enjoy listening to because I appreciate their perspective. People who, for all intents and purposes, have kind of developed a level of credibility, let's say, because many of their predictions come true, or many of the things they've said eventually get proven to be right or correct. But I'm seeing now very frequently coming across my feed those same voices appropriated through artificial intelligence, where someone has obviously trained an AI on someone's voice, which is very easy to do. Anybody can do it right now. There's all sorts of tools online where all you do is upload a few phrases and the thing can just generate their exact same voice. There are even AIs that will allow you to take pre-existing footage of this person, plug in your audio, which you trained on their voice and typed in your own content, and it will update the movement of their lips. This is terrible. Because it means that to thrive as an individual, to put yourself out there as a public persona, which nowadays many people do, but very few develop, at least in my book, any modicum of credibility. Very few. And yet those who have attained that level, by virtue of attaining a level of credibility, and consequently, because of it, a level of fame and notoriety, are now potentially inflicting more harm into the world than good. What kind of world is it that we're going into where to succeed by doing well could in and of itself be inflicting a harm on others because of artificial intelligence? What will be the motivation in even wanting to succeed as a public persona, when by virtue of that success and notoriety, you are putting yourself at more risk of having your identity sequestered and repurposed? I've even seen really famous people put in these random ads for products that I'm certain they never agreed to. But it's probably some random product, probably made in another country, probably even manufactured and shipped from another country. And yet they're using people who are famous and well known in our own country to advertise their product without that person ever being aware of it. These individuals are kind of what happens when people take the fruits of their individuality, or they foster growth of their individuality and bear fruits out of it. But this new technology is going to clamp individuality, and it's going to highly discourage, if not outright punish, succeeding as an individual, leaving very little oxygen or potential for growth outside of a hive mindset. And individuality itself will have to be kept hidden. Individuality may become a very precious commodity. A jewel that one might only be able to come across in the shadows. In places where there are no cameras or microphones or screens. And it may very well be the end of this idea of a public persona. It's tragic, in a way. And so, what we are going to find is that increasingly, what will grow in value, perhaps, is methods by which we can certify that a person is the actual person. I saw, for instance, a very, very believable press conference of Vladimir Putin talking about American politics. And the things he was saying were just kind of outrageous. And it made me wonder, maybe that wasn't him. And that's how real these things are getting. So more and more, owning your domain name, for example, owning the source, something that can be considered a legitimate source of a particular person. Some people speak about blockchain being the solution to that. I don't know. It seems like owning your own URL and using that as the podium from which you speak, at least in a digital environment, and encouraging others to really go to the source in that sense. Don't listen to a random reel on Instagram of Joe Rogan. Instead, go to his website. Even Twitter is just replete with copycat clone accounts where they get very clever with the spelling and make it look like you're actually looking at the official account, but you're actually not. So I think we each need to reclaim our place on the internet as the podium from which we speak. Otherwise, it may very well be the end of individualism and the end of people choosing to want to thrive and bring about their own spark into the world, and instead fall into a collectivist mindset where instead of thinking you have something unique to offer, instead you fall into following the crowd and doing what others are doing. And you surrender once and for all the self. AI, ironically, as empowering as it is to an individual, may be the very thing that ends up destroying individuality. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Let's see what we can do to reclaim our place as individuals in this world. Thanks for watching.